Canelo Alvarez appears to keep getting worse and worse and worse. The articles get more worse and more harsh. And, I just think it's funny. Like, I really do, because more than putting Canelo up under the spotlight, it puts boxing up under the spotlight. And it shows you that boxing has been allowed to be biased for certain people for so long. When it comes time for them to act like the champion that they're supposed to be, you can't get them to do it. And that's due to the fact that, let's face it, nobody has been able to critique Canelo Alvarez, no matter what plane they coming from, no matter what country they coming from, no matter race, creed, color, it doesn't matter. It's always going to result back to somebody hating on Canelo Alvarez. And that's where the delusional fan base of Canelo Alvarez, and I would have to say the Latino fan base in general, has imploded on its own self due to those, facts right there. They're so obsessed with pretending Canelo's this big badass Mexican that ever touched face on the planet, that they don't care how he's looked at, as long as they can continue to perceive that he is this, that, and the third. And anybody who has opened their mouth about Canelo Alvarez is always accused of being a hater. And depending on what color they are, you'll go from hater to you're just saying this because you're this color, or you're just saying that because you're that color. At what point was anybody able to critique Canelo Alvarez without accused of being a hater, or without their skin tone being brought up, or anything like that? Sometimes people just have some things to say, just like they have it to say about everybody else. But you have to look at what started the situation. The situation is boxing decided to cater towards its biggest fan base, which was the Latino fan base, and the main objective was to make them happy. Now, it's up to the Latino fan base to demand more of Canelo. Since they don't demand more of Canelo, then you got what you got. And they don't demand more of Canelo because out of all the things that they should be worried about at the end of the day, the majority of the Latino fans is just concerned about being considered or looked up to, or considered to be looked as next to the reputation of Black American fighters. That's just the truth. That's their main objective. That's the only thing they care about. That's the only opinion that they care about. That's the only one that they get angry about. That's the only people who they harass on the internet. I mean, don't get me wrong, they'll heckle anybody, but them in particular, that's all they're worried about. And this is why boxing has been able to pimp the Latino fan base. Floyd has been able to pimp the Latino fan base. Gervonta Davis has been able to pimp the Latino fan base, because we know their mentality. Okay? And Canelo fighting the best and being the best is not one of the requirements, evidently, inside their culture. And that's just the truth, because anybody who has lifted a tongue has always been shot down, assaulted, faced racism, threats, and this, that, and the third. To the point, people are so weary to say something about Canelo because they don't want to get hate. I would never hold my tongue about Canelo Alvarez for the sake of some hate that might come my way, because I don't hold my tongue for everybody else. So why would I be fake to myself for a group of people who don't like me anyway, and it ain't got nothing to do with boxing? So they created this monster that they're looking at. That's why I find it funny now. And once again, they're only shooting their own self in the foot, because after Canelo goes, who do you got? Nobody but a David Benavidez. And it's real bad when the person that you're facing is even accusing you of doing the same thing that the rest of the world is. At some point, the shit gotta stop. Or it should have stopped. But right now, Canelo's saying, fuck y'all. And this is the thing. It just goes to prove that franchise champion was invented just to duck, because franchise champion was made. I mean, he still is a franchise champion, right? Franchise champion was made so that the biggest fights in boxing can be made so we don't get held up with the Jaime Munguia type of fights. Am I right or am I wrong? And that's where the ultimate point comes in. It doesn't matter if I'm right. Matter of fact, the problem is because I'm right. Just imagine how many Latin fans is listening to this right now getting pissed, and all I did was tell the truth. All anybody else did was tell the truth. But it just goes to show why boxing is the way that it is, Mr. Face of the Sport. Now keep this in mind. How can you look at Canelo and demand him to fight a David Benavidez, and he's basically throwing his middle finger up to you? But at the same time, everybody's asking Gervonta Tank Davis to step his game up. Don't you understand? I've been connected these dots. Don't you understand this is why they don't do it? Because they know this. You want to see him fight the best and all that. They know it's a lie. Okay, let's be honest. They know it's a lie. They see very well who gets away with fighting subpar people and this, that, and the third, and who gets criticism and who don't. We're all aware of it. Just like we was all aware you couldn't beat Canelo on the scorecards. Hell, they even tried to pull a trick out of the hat for Canelo when he lost to Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? And he lost hands down. But still, when that scorecard came up, you know, you heard some wonky shit. Of course, because it's all about the perception. It's not about really being that. And Eddie Reynoso already told you what they're on. They only care about making it into the Hall of Fame. And if they can make it into the Hall of Fame without fighting David Benavidez, which he can, why would they do that? See, you can't put demands on Canelo like you did on Floyd. Floyd, you're saying, oh, if he don't fight Pacquiao, it's this, that, and the third. Oh, if he don't do this, it's this, that, and the third. Oh, he had a controversial win. And Mayweather gave you all that. He gave you all the fights. He gave you all the rematches. He gave you all that. It's still never good enough. Once again, Canelo's just proven that boxing is biased as fuck, which is why they move Gervonta the way that they do, because they know at the end of the day, it's not about him fighting the best. You're going to dislike him and try to discredit him either fucking way. So that's why Gervonta Davis moves exactly like Canelo. Exactly. That's what I said. This is the Saul Davis era. That's what it is. But it's funny to me, the people in boxing hate on people like Devin Haney, Anthony Joshua, and Terrence Crawford. We just living in an ass backwards time. But you allow this fan base to create a wall for him to hide behind. And now that you can't get him behind that wall, what, y'all upset? Nah, I think it's entertainment.